Hey all, Mark Vega here. If this is the first time you've been to the podcast, welcome. I'm really glad you're here. But if it's not, well, you know how this goes. Because every episode of the Run Long After 60 podcast starts with me out on a run. Not behind a desk, not in the studio, but moving. Ray Mena didn't start running until he was 40. But boy, was he moving. Sub 3 hour marathon, 147 races, almost 5,000 miles. Ironman, and 100 milers. Leadville, Wasatch, Zion. Whew. And he is still moving. Ray built something real. And today, at 70, he's sitting down to talk with me. Just after a full knee replacement. But it's not the end of the story. It's not the beginning of the story. He's right in the middle of it. Because when the body changes, the question really is, what do you do with everything you've built? If this content resonates with you, thank you. Visit us on the YouTube channel. Comment, like, subscribe, and share the content if you know somebody who sounds a little bit like me. Or if you have a guest suggestion, send them out to us. We read everything, and almost all of our guests have come from another guest's suggestion. We're building the community, and we're glad you're a part of it. Okay, I think I'm ready. You ready? It's time for Ray Mena. Let's go. Welcome to another episode of the Run Long After 60 podcast. I'm Mark Vega, a guy I know who just recently got a new knee and has been running miles and miles and miles for years and years and years. My friend, Ray Mena. Ray, thank you for agreeing to be on the podcast today.
My pleasure.
Ray, where are you talking to us from? Where are you from and where are you talking to us from?
Well, currently I am in Long Beach, California. And just turned 70 in December, 70 years old.
Oh, so you get the free ticket into the Run Long After 60 group. Yeah, now that you're 70, you can never deny that you don't belong, right? So not that you ever did, but just going to say. All right, Ray, you've been running for a long time, but tell us your origin story of sorts, how you started running, but you don't have to go back all the way to, when I was in 5th grade. You don't have to do that, but you can. If it's a good story, start there. But get us quickly into how you started running in your 40s and then you had 30Ks, 50Ks, 50 milers, 100 milers, all this stuff.
Okay, so it was 45 years old when I started running. Prior to that, I hated running. I deplored it. I just hated running. And then I just was pretty much like a bodybuilder, per se, and I was working out at the gym, and then a young lady that I know and I still keep in touch with got me to run. And I ran my first, half marathon, and it was the hardest thing I ever done. And it was Long Beach half marathon in 2001. I thought, that's it, that's enough. I'm not going to do anything more.
Did you lose a bet? What do you mean? How could somebody force you to go run? What did that mean?
Nobody forced me. It was just her way of talking to me and saying that, you could do it and come on and run with us. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And it was very difficult for me to.
Did you train, or did you just show up to do half a marathon?
I think I ran 6 miles was my longest run, and then
Okay.
Yeah, so that's probably why it was so hard for me. But I did finish, and but I thought, yeah, that was fun, but I don't know if I'll do it anymore. But then I got the bug a little bit after running and meeting other people, which obviously, inspired me. So I did also in 2001, I did my first marathon, and that was LA Marathon. And I thought, I think I could do this, and I was predicting a 4-hour marathon.
Okay.
And then I trained, but I did 18 miles was my longest run. And that is a mistake. I cramped at mile 19, so I knew that when you do a marathon, you need to do the total at least 26 miles, I think. That was my take on that.
Okay.
So I ended up coming with a 4:36, 2001 LA Marathon. And after that, I started enjoying the running.
After the cramp up at mile 19, that's when you were like, okay. Did you start to take it more serious, or what made you keep going back? Clearly, it didn't sound very pleasant.
Well, it wasn't. Then I had to walk and run and walk and run. And then I got, like I said, it was 4:36. I finished. And I thought, you know what? And I'm competitive. I'm a very competitive person.
Okay.
So, like I said, I was 45 years old. And I thought, you know what? I could do better. And so I ran San Diego Marathon. So I ended up doing with a 3:48, I think. So I was training hard. So from 4:36 to 3:48, roundabout there, I really wow, this is fantastic. I feel good. So I did just progressively, I got better. So a lot of marathons, probably about 60 marathons. Obviously, everything just kept improving as I got older. So at 55, 54, I think that was my best times, but believe it or not, at 55. I can cut through all the marathons that I've done, and through, Las Vegas and Tucson and Phoenix and Boston. I was able to do Boston, but St. George is where I did my best time. So I really felt good about St. George, Utah marathon. It's prominently downhill, so there is no marathon that's, when they tell you it's all downhill, that's a farce. It's not all downhill. So
right. So is this 3:06? What was your best time at St. George? No, 2:59.
2:58.
Okay.
2:58. So at 55 years old, so I was ecstatic, and like I said, I was competitive. So
that's 2009. Now it looks like you ran that marathon a handful of times. So talk about that for just a second, Ray. Once you find, you kept going back, and then was it once you found a race that you felt comfortable because you felt you were faster? What kept you going back? And I see the Los Angeles. You did Los Angeles a handful of times, a rock and roll a couple of times. You did a lot of marathons before.
Yeah. Talking
about trails.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. All this was, like I said, road, and it's pretty tough on the knees, obviously, doing on pavement. Like I said, LA was 14 times, and Las Vegas was 7 times, and St. George was my favorite, obviously, because I PR'd there a couple times. So that one was 9 times I was there. So I just kept getting better and better. Then from there, it kind of got me into, it changed a little bit. I went from marathons then I went into a different, like Ironmans. I don't know if you're familiar with Ironmans, but
sure. When did you start doing Ironmans? Because you're 8 to 12, 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You're doing marathons.
And then 2005 was my first, I think, half
Ironman?
marathon in Oceanside, California. And I'm not a very good swimmer, so I got beat up going on the swim. So
how did you decide? It's very impressive, Ray. Like we can look at all the marathonguide.com and all Ray's marathons. And we look at Ultra Sign Up, all of Ray's Ultra Sign Up races. And there's a lot. There's a lot of running over the years, even whether you started at 45 or not. Right. But it's a little trickier to find the Ironman or UTMB. Like you can find little bits and pieces. So 2005, how did you, what bug did you have in 2005 that said, well, I understand how marathons are working and it's pretty good and I'm going to keep doing them. But what made you even entertain Ironman, especially if you don't like to swim or whatever?
Sure. And I think you get incentive by other people. And I had some friends that were doing Ironmans and they said, okay, come on, Ray, you could do this one. You could do it. And it's not a whole lot of training. And I figured, I can do it. I can, So I did. I attempted it, and I almost turned around in the swim because I felt like I was drowning. But I accomplished it. I finished it, and then obviously it increased. I did the Ironmans. I did a few of them, and then they also got me into doing my first ultra, and that was my first ultra was February 2nd. 2002, and it was called Mount Disappointment, and that's in Angeles Crest.
Sure.
It was a 50K, and believe me, I never cramped so much in my life. Even today, I've never cramped so much. I think I cramped about 20 times. The finish is uphill, so that was an experience in itself, but I love.
So 2002. That's the looking over my shoulder because I have a bib for that race. They changed the name from Mount Disappointment to Los Angeles Forest Trail Race, something like that. That's my first big DNF that I was proud of 2019.
Well,
so wait, this is 2002. So you did your first trail race before you did Ironman, because that's 2002, right? You said Ironman was 2005 or something?
Yes, my full Ironman, 2005.
So,
you're correct.
Okay, so then was it the same to get you to do Mount Disappointment? Was it also, your friends saying, hey, you should come give this a try?
Oh, yeah, we were all competitive with each other. Oh, we can do this, we can do that. And we increased our obviously, our runs. So, yeah, and
Did you like it?
It was brutal.
What was your experience when up in the mountains in the Angeles Crest?
Oh, I loved the mountains. It was so much. It's not repetitive, obviously, like any road race,
marathon.
Or marathons, but it was taxing. It was tough, but
did you train up in the hills? Did you train up in the hills?
We trained up there, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in Angeles, up there, and up there in San Gabriel Mountains. So but it was something. I'll tell you what. And then from there it just grew until I started doing longer distances, but from there went up to progressively from 50Ks to 50 milers, Catalina. I did that quite a bit, 5 times, the 50-mile Catalina run in January. So
that looks so cool. I've seen that a handful of times, but I never participated. So in 2002, you start doing trail. You're still doing road races.
Yes, and I'm still doing I was doing Ironmans all in the same time. Yeah.
So hang on. Those. So you do the Bulldog. You do the Bulldog Ultras, Avalon, Bulldog.
Yeah.
Leadville. So hang on a second. You did Leadville, your first 100, is that correct? Your first 100-mile race.
That's right, Leadville.
Leadville. So it's August 2005.
Correct.
Did you do the Ironman competition in 2005 before Leadville?
I did do it that same year. I did do the same year in Arizona, full Ironman in 2005 also. So, yeah, I did. Yeah.
Before Leadville? Because that was in August. Leadville's in August of 2005.
Yeah,
so
and Ironman was the first one, believe it or not. The inaugural was in August, and then they changed it to November. So all the other races were in November, the Ironmans in Arizona.
Wait a minute.
But anyway.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Leadville's August 20th, 2005. Are you telling me that you did an Ironman in August before Leadville? A couple of weeks before Leadville?
That might have been the one in November, because I don't remember being that close. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember being that close.
So in all our conversations over time, I've enjoyed them all. You have good stories. But somehow, Ray, in my mind, it was segmented so that you did the road, and then you got to the this, and then you finally got the trail. But
Correct.
Clearly, that's not the story at all. You started doing marathons, and you kept doing marathon. You started doing trails, and you kept doing trails, and then you put Ironman in that too. I had no idea that you did all those all at the same time. So let's go back to the distances first. So how... By August of 2025, by August 2005, at least on Ultra Sign Up, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of trail races, ultras, 50K, 30Ks, 50-miler. What got you to say, I'm going to try Leadville?
A friend of mine, which I didn't know anything about back then, about 100-milers or anything. You know, I thought, okay, so we did the Catalina 50, and my friend said, we could do this one race. It's Leadville. And, you know, I didn't know that much about it. And I just said, oh, sure, why not? You know, so 4 of us signed up for it. And lo and behold, 2 of us made it and 2 of us didn't. And the one that got us to sign up, he didn't make it. So I had... that one was, wow, what an experience that was. And beautiful. Leadville's awesome. You know, it's a mining town, you know. So elevation starts at 10,000 feet and it goes up to 12,600. And so I ran that thing, you know, fast at the very beginning. And I think that might have been a mistake, but I ran out fast, and it was awesome. I felt good. You know, you run just like any 100-mile. You start before, you know, dawn. It's in the dark. And so I ran, and I got to halfway mark, I guess, or right before the halfway mark. You go over Hope Pass, and that's 12,600 feet. And I realized I was bent over, you know, like almost on my knees, because I couldn't breathe, and I wasn't used to that elevation.
Because of the elevation.
Yeah, and we never trained for that, you know, basically, because there was nothing in, obviously, California, unless you go to Mount Whitney, and I've never been there. So I was just slumped over, and somebody, you know, tapped me on the shoulder and said, don't stop. Keep walking, because it's not going to get any better. So I learned my lesson there. Just keep moving. And then, you know, as I got down the hill, I felt the air come back, and I felt good. And I ran down that hill, and I had to turn around and come back. And of course, I learned don't stop. So I kept on going. I finished. It was like it was obviously the next day. And people were saying, oh, we got this. And it was like, I'm looking at my watch, and it was like, I don't know, it was like a half hour left, and we're a few miles away. And I thought, no, I'm not ever doing a 100-miler again. No way. So I felt good. You know, you get this second or third, fourth win, whatever. And in the morning, you feel good. I ran hard, and I made it. I had 13 minutes to spare before the cutoff. and that guy's out there with a shotgun, and if you're 10 feet away, you don't get your buckle. You know what I mean? They don't give it to you. So I made it within that time. I laid on the ground, and I think I fell asleep within, I don't know, it seemed like 2 minutes.
Wow. Leadville's a storied race, and even in 2005, so 20 years ago, it was a storied race then.
Yeah.
The golden hour is the last hour of the race. It's a 30-hour cutoff.
That's right.
You're absolutely right. It indicates here that you came over at 29 hours, 48 minutes, 59 seconds. So 11 minutes to spare, man. Wow.
Yeah, and it was astonishing. It was awesome. There's something in the back of your head. It's mental. You have to be mental a little bit to do something like that. And it was back then. It was 472 of us, I think, that did the race. And it was, you didn't have to qualify or anything. But I think it's changed now. So I know there's a lot more people doing it now. Yeah. So that was the start, and I thought it wouldn't be any more hunters, but I accomplished 2 more 100-milers. So, yeah. So
you're 40 at the time. You're 49 when you do Leadville, and then you finish that. Did you have at that time? Did you have a crew? Did you have pacers? Like, how did you run that race? Did you just run it?
Yeah. Like I said, 4 of us went, and no crews, no pacers. No such thing. We just did it on our own.
And do you remember? Did you carry like little water bottles and just get to each aid station, or how did you? What was your gear?
I did have the backpack. I was at least smart enough to have a hydration pack, and you know what? The nutrition is not like what you do now. I think I had those sports beans, and some goos, and maybe a Cliff Bar, but that was about it. Nothing. It was just water. I didn't have anything, in my backpack as far as liquids or fluids that
all of that definitely came really hard charging over the last 20 years, really over the last 10 years, right? So your backpack probably had the mandatory gear, right? You have to have the biv pack and the whatever, right? There was some mandatory gear that Leadville made you carry because you have to go up in the middle of the night over Hope's Pass, right?
No, there was nothing.
What?
No. They didn't tell us anything about you have to carry anything. No.
What?
No. Back
in
then,
2005, I can understand, like I heard stories in 1979 and 80, but by 2005, Leadville, they didn't have any mandatory gear?
No, nothing that told us you have to have this or that. No, nope. So you just...
So you took a backpack just because that felt most comfortable to you to run.
Well, yeah, we knew when we did train for that, we did go, like I said, up in the mountains, and we'd have a backpack with water because, there's places where you're not going to get water. So we just basically had water, but that's it, just water. It's just no electrolytes or anything, just water. But
could be wrong. But I think this demonstrates, Ray, how who you are, kind of to the core, kind of guy who you are. Meaning, this one thing: when you got up there, over 12,000 feet, you've never been up there before. Certainly not running.
Never been at elevation.
You don't know what's happening to your body, but you didn't stop.
No.
You didn't roll on the ground. You didn't collapse and ask for search and rescue. You didn't.
No.
Now, you did not know what was happening, but you did not stop.
I just knew I couldn't breathe.
Who's the person who's like, hey, man, don't stop?
I have no idea. It was just another runner come by and says, hey, what are you doing? Are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm okay. I just can't breathe. He says, well, keep moving.
Oh, that's nothing. Keep it going.
Yeah, because you're not going to breathe any better up here, and you just keep going. So I learned my lesson on elevation. So anyway, and that was the highest I've ever been, period. So anyway, but it was a good experience, and then, you do have a river crossing over there and also. So that was kind of neat. But it was exhilarating and running through the night and you know, but it was hard. It was hard, but and then I just kept on moving and progressively doing other. From there on, it pretty much. I can't remember. Let's see, 2014. I'm trying to think of. I think I didn't run any more marathons, but I did do.
No, I'm not going to let you move so fast. So I keep looking because I got the data here. So it says, so you run Leadville in August, right? And then you're like, oh yeah, well I can't abandon my St. George. I got to go back to St. George. So you go back in October. So you rested a month or so and went back to October, and then that wasn't enough either. You go back to Vegas 2 months later, December 2005. So. And you're laying down 304, 308, 308, you know. That's, come on, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think Vegas, there was a lot of, and in fact, Phoenix also, I kept getting a 307, 307, 307. I can't believe this. And it was just within seconds, 307, 307. I couldn't beat that thing, so I finally did it in St. George. So, yeah.
So I guess, yeah, you're very competitive, but also when we're watching ourselves and watching our own growth, you're looking at your own times. You got to beat that time, right?
Yeah. My competitive is myself. You know, it's me that wants to continue on and, you know, strive to get better. And more training, you know, that's what it's all about, you know, pretty much.
So 2005, you do Leadville. That's pretty amazing. And a number of years goes by. And is this correct? Then the next one, you're like, well, Leadville was hard, but no sense in doing the easy 100-miler. I found out something about Wasatch 100. Was that your second? Oh my!
Yes,
God.
It was. And then
You're insane.
Of course, it
Tell
was.
us about Wasatch. That's 2000. That's September 9th, 2011.
Yes.
Talk about Wasatch.
Yeah, they call it heaven and hell. Yeah, it was. A friend of mine, he's still doing ultras, and he got me, says, let's do this one. And it's always a friend, always wants to get you into these things.
Your friends. I don't know. You better start making a list of them because I'd be grateful for them. But boy, oh boy, you could really cause some trouble. Get all those people together.
Yeah, that one was a lottery. And lo and behold, he didn't get in, and I got in, so I was all by myself. So no crew, no nothing. I flew over there in Utah all by myself and didn't know, you know, just taxi here, taxi there to get me to the, you know, to the start, and didn't know what to expect.
Did you it was only 2011, but did you research it? Like, did you see the elevation? Like, did they have a website?
No. You know, a lot of people put their times or whatever, and when they're going to get here, there. I didn't do any of that. I didn't do the nutrition, what breakdown I need for nutrition, or I just took what I thought I needed, and I just went for it.
Did you have the same backpack from Leadville? You know, all these years later, was it the same gear? Was it? Okay.
Yeah, I do love. There's a certain backpack that I use that I really like, so I just kept the same backpack. You know,
was Wasatch harder than Leadville?
Yeah, it has more elevation gain, and it was harder, but it was beautiful. It was awesome. I did have, and people think I'm crazy, but I got to somewhere mile 40 or something, and I bought this little camera, you know, this little Insta camera. Okay. And I hate to say it, but I looked at that camera and I looked at the screen, and I saw things on that screen. You know, I was hallucinating. People I swear I did. I saw something in that screen. I saw faces, and I looked at it. Well, maybe that's my face. And no, there was 3 faces on there, and they weren't me because, well, I'm not saying I'm beautiful, but they were ugly faces. They were 3 ugly looking faces, and I thought, what the hell is going on? So I you know, that's hallucinations, I think.
Did you take pictures of it, trying to capture it on the screen?
No, I couldn't because it was on the screen. It wasn't in the front. It was on the back. And I wish I could have, but and to this day, I could still remember those faces. But I just kept running anyway after that. And then I got to the 50-mile mark, which I know about 50. It starts getting evening. I have my, my night gear and stuff over there. I was 11 pounds light at mile 50. And at that time, that one, they weighed you in. The beginning of the race,
Oh, okay.
They weighed you in. I don't think they do that anymore, but they weighed me in then. And they weighed me in at mile 50. And they said, you got to sit, you got to drink, you got to eat. We can't let you go until, you gain a pound or so. I don't want to break a secret, but, people, you put a little bit of rocks in your backpack. So when you get to that aid station, I hate to say it, but that's the truth.
Did you know that before this event, or no? You learned after?
No, I heard somebody talk about it, and so what I did was, it was night. I put on some more heavy gear, and I put my night light on and my hat, and they put me on the scale and it says, "Oh, that's good. You're looking good, so you can go ahead and go." So I was not gonna stop, and so I was there about 15 minutes. I think was my longest stop there. So
okay,
and then I kept going, and and as it goes nighttime, you don't. I don't know. You don't perspire as much, and you don't lose as much weight. So I got it back, a little bit. So I felt good. And Wasatch, I did meet a friend there, and in fact, I still talk to him. He was at the very beginning of the race, and he lives out there in Utah.
Okay.
And he wanted to. All he was doing was just wanted to help somebody pace, be a pacer for him. And I got to mile 75 aid station, and he was there. And he asked me, "Ray, do you mind if I pace you?" I said, "I don't mind at all." So I did have a pacer.
Okay.
And,
had you ever had a pacer up to that moment?
No, never had. So that was nice. I think a pacer is a good thing. So he paced me. He ran all the time in front of me. So you know how people say run back or in front? He ran in front of me and kept me going. And I finished it. Well, you probably have the stats. 32 hours, I think it was.
Yeah, that's amazing. 32:04. So just a couple hours, after Leadville, which is pretty amazing how hard Wasatch is.
Yeah,
that's
I
really
don't know
amazing.
I don't remember what the cutoff was. I don't know if it was 34 hours or 36. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, I finished. I felt good. And, I thanked him for, pacing me. Then from there on, I don't want to jump over, but the last 100 miler I did was Zion. So
in 2014. So
Correct.
we go from 2011 to Wasatch and do.
Yeah.
Boy, if you're only going to do a couple of hundreds, Ray, good on you.
know.
What good choices, man. Jeez. So Zion is year 58. So first you were under 50, then 55, now 58 at Zion.
Yeah.
2014. How beautiful is that course, and how was that course?
It was different. I mean, it's not like a whole lot of, obviously, it's not forest. It's all these plateaus up there by
rocks,
right on the outside of the actual park, because you're not going to run in the park. But these big old giant plateaus that you see from afar, and it's all rock on the top, and then some bushes and maybe some trees, short trees like those manzanitas and stuff. But that was it was different. It was nice. I had perfect weather, and obviously I was prepared for that. I did a 50-mile run. I think prior to that, I did Catalina, I think it was, 50-mile. And then back-to-back next week, I did San Diego 50-mile. So, I was really trying to prepare for that. I think that was it. Anyway.
You crushed it. In January 2014, you did Avalon 50-miler, then San Diego 50-miler. Then you did the Sean O'Brien in February, 50K, Old Goat 50 miler in March, and then April 6th. Yeah, you were smoking the beginning of 2014. You were just covering lots of miles. When you trained, with these training races that I just spit off, were those basically training races for Zion? Or were they independently just races you really wanted to do? Or was everything layered heading to Zion?
I had no plans. No, the only things that two were the back-to-backs, the ones that I did, the 50 milers. I was trying to get ready for, because going back, obviously, you don't bring it up, but, I did have some DNFs, so I did try Angeles Crest 100, and I DF'd on that at mile 50 at Chilea Flats, and I was 12 pounds light, but that one I didn't recover from. I had to call it quits at Chilea Flats in the 100-mile, Now,
they don't report, not every race director reports the DNFs.
No, they don't.
On your Ultra sign-up, there's 3 DNFs, but not that one. That one's not recorded. So I wouldn't know. So there was in 2014, you had a DNF before Zion?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had, Angeles Crest was one. I did try Javelina 100, and that one didn't.
That was the year before, October 2013.
Yeah, so I DNF'd on that one. Went out.
What was that about? Did you like the vibe? In 2013, it was still a party vibe. It was becoming a party vibe.
Yeah, it wasn't as much as, it wasn't as much as, but now compared to it's even hard to get in now. I think.
Yeah, now it's impossible.
It's crazy.
They used to say, and I read a lot. I've read a lot more books about ultra running than actual ultra running races I've run. But so Javelina at the time was one of the earliest, as I understand, it was one of the first places where it's like, well, if you want to do an easy 100, go to Javelina because it's this great 5-mile loop, 20-mile loop course. You love it.
Yeah.
But it's heat and it's not so easy, but it certainly seems like a party. So you had already run long distances, and so was the Angeles Crest before the Angeles Crest attempt before Javelina? So you attempted Javelina October 2013.
Yeah, it was before that. Yeah. It was before Angeles Crest before that. And then I'm trying to think offhand. Let's see. So there was another DNF.
Not until Western States, but not until 2015.
Yeah, that one, you know what? When I qualified for that one, it took me 5 years to get in. And I don't know, I was sicker than a dog 2 or 3 weeks before that. But I said, I'm going to go for it anyway. 5 years waiting, I'm going to go. Sick or not, I went, and it showed. I made it to mile 32. But at least I tried. I attempted it. It was not good. You know, when you run downhill and you can't run downhill, it's over with. I was feeling so bad. So but I was there, but I would love to try that again, but no, it wasn't happening. So anyway.
So you've done 3 100s, and what do you think, knowing what you know, and knowing that you've done 3, and that you had at least 3 DNFs, I suppose, do you, and you did hard 100s, do you think people in general do you think the majority of people are going to have to do a couple of attempts at 100 before being able to do a couple of them?
What do you mean, the hard ones or what? Or
any of them? Like you got your Leadville experience was unique, and obviously, honestly, when it's 20 years ago, things change so much. But I'm asking you when you watched a lot of people, you gave me advice when I was going to do 100K, and you were like, you gave me one piece of advice. This is don't get lost. And I thought that was the most hilarious, wonderful piece of advice I'd ever get, because I'm in the middle of the desert. I'm not going to get lost, clearly. And then I went out into the desert and I got lost. So there's something to be said, I think, about experience. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Like if you're really going to try to do a 100-mile distance, how do we measure our expectations of our performance and ourselves when we're going to tackle a 100-mile distance?
Well, I think what would help is you got that mindset anyway. You're going to go for it, but you need to do some 50-milers, period, or 100 Ks, and you got to do your training religiously. You got to go with some back-to-backs. You got to want to go, obviously, and I'm not talking road, I'm talking trails. You got to do the trails, and it's just time on your feet. I can't stress that enough. It's you can be out. Going up to the mountains, and 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, you're there. You start running and hiking, all the way till the evening. Till 6 o'clock at night. When it's getting dark, and of course you have your you're going to have your night lights on, but that's time on your feet. That's what's important. Getting those hours on your legs. It's not about speed, and it's not about how many miles you do, because you're not going to do a whole lot when you're climbing up these steep hills. It's not like you're going to get 50, 60 miles. There's no way it's going to happen. So I think that's the best thing I can say for somebody who wants to do a 100-miler is just time on your feet. So
perfect. Yeah, perfect. Makes so much sense. Did you have any awareness as you turned, when you turn in your 50s, you're just on fire because you're just discovering all these things.
Yeah.
Did you have any sense that when you turned 60, or I know you just turned 70, but you have any sense that there was a time and an age for you that somehow your awareness of your fitness level changed?
You know what?
Based on age.
It does. It changes. Not as fast as you were, obviously. There's no way I'm going to do a 3-hour marathon anymore. I mean, let's just be honest. My half marathons have gone way down. Obviously, I'm not going to do a 1:21 half marathon, which was ecstatic for me. It was fantastic. But that's not going to happen, but that's okay. That's all right. It's just being out there and finishing. And, I'm still a little bit competitive. As long as I am older, as long as I can finish, I still want to finish before maybe the people of my age. I still want to beat them.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about age groups. I still want to beat the
people that are my age.
Let's talk about age groups. So the last, is it true, like the last marathon that you did, and I don't know if this is true or not, that you did LA in 2014, was that the last? And I see Griffith Park Trail Marathon, which is definitely different than a street marathon, but when was your last street marathon? Was that it, in 2014?
You know what? It probably was. My memory is, age, I forget things, but...
Yeah.
But probably was, because, like I said, once I transitioned to going over to trails, I knew that was a lot better for my knees. So, yeah.
So at 58, in 2014, you run LA 3:17. I mean, come on, that's pretty darn good. 4th place in your age group, I guess, in their 50s, or actually that age group would have been 55 to 59. Yeah. And so talk about age groups. In trails, right? Age groups are 10 years, 60 to 69.
Yeah.
In marathon, it's 60 to 64, 65 to 69.
Yeah. Yeah. So it makes it harder with the, obviously, the trail, because it's a bigger age group.
Well, I don't know. So let's talk about the magic number you just hit. So you're now 70.
No. Well, hopefully, like you said, I've had going on 53 days now for my knee replacement, full knee replacement. So I had arthroscopic surgeries, obviously, prior to that. But my running started to digress. It started going down. It was from ultras to marathon to half marathon to a 10K. It's like... And my knees,
because your knee was
my knee was hurting. Okay. Yeah, that was it. My knee said, "That's it," and so I said it was time to do the surgery.
Okay, now let's get into that for just half a second. But I'm thinking, I just want to dispel any things and try to make a bad joke, but I think it's a good joke, and that is,
Okay.
Is it possible that Ray knows he's going to hit he's going to be 70 soon enough? He's going to be getting in that new age group. And he knows if he replaces his knee just at the right time, he's going to be able to crush that age group again. So I'm wondering, is there any possibility that as you get your knee replaced, is it just like learning to put rocks in your backpack at the Wasatch, or no, totally different?
Well, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to pick up speed, but it's going to be a start over again. Obviously getting that conditioning going, because that's going to take some time. Conditioning takes a longer time as you get older, I think, to bring that back up. So
it does.
So
you're 45. When you're 45, you start at 45, right? So now you're 69, and being 70s, that's a long time. And you finally, as I known you and talked with you about it for a while now, so your knee starts to bother you. So talk about that. Like, had you ever had any kind of body replacement surgeries before the knee, or is this the first one?
No, it's the first one. And I didn't bring it up, but when I was in my 20s, I actually ruined my knee from snow skiing. So that's what brought this left knee that I have replaced, was actually the start of all this. So it was actually a snow ski injury that I lost my ACL. So that's basically what happened to my knee. And all these years of running, I guess the strength and everything it didn't bother me until I'm 69 or whatever.
What do you mean you didn't have an ACL? So you get an ACL tear, a ligament tear,
it tore up
it got repaired?
No, it didn't get repaired. It never got repaired. And the doctor took an X-ray way back when and said, see all that mush in there inside your knee? He says, that's your ACL. You don't have one anymore. So they never repaired it right or whatever. It was gone. So the only thing was holding my knee was all the other ligaments.
But wait a minute. You're 27, so in that moment you're like, who cares? And then you didn't start running until 40.
Because I didn't like running. So who cares? Yeah. So I just lifted weights.
Okay. What did that play a role in your decision when your friend, this woman, said, well, give her a try, give it a go? At that moment, were you thinking about the ACL, like knowing about this other injury? Did you have any?
No, I think all the training that I was doing and get my muscles all strong and stuff at the gym, I had no issue with my knees. From 27 to 45, when there was a long stretch there, it didn't hurt, so I was able to run. But then,
did you even think about it, or did you not even think about it?
No, I didn't even think about it because it didn't hurt at all. So no, I didn't. Didn't think about it.
Okay, you start taking lower distances on trails, and that you associated with that somehow with his knee pain, right? When starts, when did that start? 2 years ago, 5 years ago? When did that start? And at that moment, when it did start hurting, did you then remember about the ACL?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, when it starts hurting, yeah. In fact, I had a little tenderness at the 100-mile Zion. At the mile 90, I think it was 95, I felt my knee a little bit, But it was at mile 95. And I thought, no, okay, it just hurts a little bit. And then when I finished to the finish line, it went away. I forgot about it. So that was a little start right there. It was starting to, hurt a little bit. And then, obviously I had some arthroscopic surgeries because the meniscus in the pads,
to clean it out somehow.
Bones, they were tearing up, so they had to go in there and take them out. So after 3 surgeries of arthroscopic, pretty much there's no more meniscus; it's bone on bone. So then from there on, it was just run through pain. Basically is what I was doing.
Listen, I really appreciate you getting on here, and I know we talked about it many months ago before the surgery. So I was, this is the golden level information here, I think, Ray, and I really appreciate it because as we get older, people who aren't runners, right, ask us, "Oh, how are your knees? How are your knees?"
Yeah, right.
And with someone who's been at it for a long time, and you have your own knee issues from a ski accident, not from something else, from a ski issue.
Yeah.
Zion, 2014, you felt the niggle in your knee.
A little
you felt
bit,
something.
yeah. Yeah, so that brought my attention to my knee a little bit. And then from there on, it was just, maybe some of these other races that I went, I felt a little tingle or something, or a little pain. But I think it swelled up. It was like, it went away. So I just kept running on it. I was going to keep running on it, so.
When did something happen enough that you were like, I better go get this scoped out, get the arthroscopic? Like, what happened that you were like, I got to get this taken care of?
Oh, when you get that little click, I think they call it like a mouse that goes, it's because it's broken up in there, and it kind of, I don't want to say it locks your knee, but it's very, very painful. So I had to have that done. So they cleaned it up, and it was good to go. But only for a while. As age catches you can't keep doing it. So hopefully, I know there's people out there, obviously, that are 60s, 70s that had, knee replacements. And way back when, doctors always probably told you, once you get it done, that's it. Your running career's over. I think they're changing now. Doctors are saying, no, you can run on it. My doctor, I think I told him, not literally, but I said, I'm gonna hit you if you tell me I can't run anymore. And he said, I'm not gonna do that. He said, you can run on it. He says, the worst thing you might last 20 years, but running on it might last you 15. We don't know. There hasn't, as he said, there hasn't been a big study on that. But he said, we can go back in. He said, so he gave me that. Well, if you keep running on it and we have to go back in, we can just replace the plastic, the polymers in there. He said, we can go back in. Yeah, but hopefully they won't have to. But I guess it depends on how hard I run and what's the distances I'm going to run.
You said that you went back to get that knee scope 3 times?
Yeah, arthroscopic surgery 3 times.
So, but but the first time when they go in, I thought they would remove any of the excess.
They removed all the pieces that are broken, and they take that because it's useless anymore. The little meniscus.
Right. So then you went running again and broke it some more, and so they cleaned it out again.
Yeah. And then you
did it again, and then finally they're like, "Well, there's nothing more to take out, and it's now bone on bone."
That's pretty much right. Yeah. And then
how long did you run on it when you're bone on bone? How many months or whatever?
Yeah, it was a few years. I did quite a few years, and then just run through some pain, and but now it got to the point where it was too painful, obviously, and I was not happy with my runs when I can't do. If a 10K is painful at mile 6 or whatever at the finish, no, it's time. Let's get it done. And my doctor always said, whenever you're ready, because he says your knee is due. He said I've seen knees better than yours. I've done knee replacements. So he said, whenever you're ready, come and see me. And I did. So that's what happened.
So you waited and waited.
Yeah.
Did you do what kind of research, or did you talk to other people before you really pulled the trigger?
Yeah.
And right. Did you do a lot of the internet today compared to 20 years ago, much different, right? You can learn things today we could never know 20 years ago.
Right. And I waited. That's the one reason I was waiting to see if the things got better or easier and less invasive. But, I thought, maybe if I wait long enough, they'll do some kind of bionic stuff and make me run faster, That's what's my joke. I say, make me run faster. But anyway, it was in and out the same day. So obviously and the polymers and everything have gotten better. So, and so they last longer. So.
Did you see a photo, or did you see the things that they put in your knee? Did you get to see what they look like before the surgery, or
Yeah, I did actually go on YouTube and watch the whole somebody's knee getting replaced, and it's not pretty. It's pretty. They tear up your knee. Believe me, they grind the bones down, and they put those titanium plates in there, and then they glue up all the, it's a mess from what I look like, but my knees don't look that bad. So that knee.
I was shocked when you said 1 day. Like, I mean, wait, this can't be an inpatient. How could you? Because in my head, there's a whole lot of pieces that you got to cut out, pull them out, glue them back, screw it in, Like, how could you do that 1 day? And then they send you out the door? That's just amazing.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. It's part of that, or part of the insurance says, oh, we ain't covering you for another day. I don't know.
Right.
So, but I was in there at 5 a.m. They started work at 7:30. I think they finally got me in there. And you know what? I asked the doctor how long. He says, an hour and a half. We were done with you. So that's it. But the recovery's long, right? Yeah. I got out of there at, I think, 4:30 that evening. So I had they gave you a walker. So I had the walker, and I used it for this. I know that's just me. I used it for 3 days, and I said, get rid of that, and just careful, just don't want to fall. So, and I'm recovering good. I hope. I think it is, because I'm feeling good right now. I actually went out last week. Caro puts on races, and it was Whiting Ranch, and I was out there giving people, you know what? It gives me motivation, and it gives these people out there motivation to inspire them and tell them what I'm going through right now. They're running, and I told them I ran no, I didn't run. I walked 4 miles. I don't want to ruin my knee, so I did walk 4 miles. That might have been pushing it, but I did. I felt good. I wanted to run, but I did not run, so I kept it locked in. I just, my wife would have told me.
Do I have to edit? You want me to edit that sentence out that said I ran 4 miles?
No, I didn't. But I did not run.
I tell you, my friend Ray, and I didn't expect this, but when I learned that it was 90 minutes, an hour and a half, somehow I felt so much better about the whole universe of things, including for your knee, but just in general. The idea that we've dialed this procedure in so well, and, with great doctors all over the place, but it's just really, we can almost say it's just another Tuesday. You come in, take it out, whenever you're ready, come on in, boom, 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 boom. Yes, you have to follow the protocols. Yes, you're going to be in there 10 hours, but still the idea that they were ready to go, okay, do it, open it up, bring it out, do the thing, 90 minutes. It's still 90 minutes of focusing exactly on the little things or pieces. But when I heard you say that, or when I heard that, I'm like, I just felt really good about it because, man, times changed. And so the knee I think you've got right now today, Ray, is it's the best knee you could ever want for the moment.
Probably
right?
so.
That's it.
And, I did talk to my doctor quite a few times, like a couple of years before. Yeah. Like I said, he said, when you're ready, you're ready. But, he did over 1,000 knee replacements. So I really, and everybody I talked to said he was a good doctor. So I went with somebody that I knew would do it right. So hopefully it's still right. We'll find out when I start running again if everything clicks together. So, but I'm going to run again. So here I'm 70 and I'm not going to quit. So I feel so much better out there, running, and even though it was just hiking this time, but and then seeing all these people and inspiration that they gave me too, and hopefully I give them inspiration because there's a lot of friends out there, and it's different. Trail people are different than marathon people.
How so? Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, you got thousands of people running like LA Marathon. You're running next to each other and you're just doing your thing, and everybody's breathing hard. They're not talking to you, but why? Obviously not, because they're trying to get their goals. And then when it's finished, they get their medal and they putter off. They walk away. It's not like they sit around and talk about what happened. But trails is after it's over, you guys just, we talk about what's going on. How did you feel? Oh yeah, that hill, that one, and and what's the next race? What are you doing? What's a trail race? And what have you done? And you get inspired. Oh, you did that? Oh, I want to do that. It's like, oh my God. And you never know. I talked to one person, like, yeah, you look at him going, yeah, anyway, I did, this 100-miler. And then, yeah, I've done 10 of them. I go, oh, you don't know. These people out there, you don't know what they've done. And, you get to know them and so don't underestimate anybody. They got their heart in the right place. They can do it. Anybody, if they want to do it, they can do it. I think, that's the way I feel. I'm like, and you know what? 100 miles, you're walking a lot. It's not like a marathon where I was trying to get, 7-minute miles. It's 100 miles is different. It's, it's something in here. And, just, I don't know. It's hard to explain unless you do one. And, running through the night, through the day, and seeing people, and sometimes you don't see them, and you just see the night lights up in the hills. Yeah, it's weird. It's, I don't know how to say it, but I do miss it. But I don't know if I could ever do another 100, but I'll get there somewhere, maybe a 50-miler. We'll see what my knee holds out for me.
Well, already the fact that you're putting your weight on it and you're out there walking 4 miles, that's tells us everything, I think. And so it almost sounds like now you can treat it like any other kind of smaller injury. You got to let it heal.
I'll see my doctor in, I think, 4 more weeks, and I'm going to ask him when can I start running, but he probably, they always say 6 months or 4 to 6 months, okay? And everybody's different, right? I guess a person that's been athletic all those years may be, obviously, like for me, will maybe be less time than somebody who's just been a couch potato and just has a hard time climbing up stairs. They might need the whole 6 months. And then physical therapy. Across the board, everybody has told me that's the most important thing that you could do is get that physical therapy and stick with it. So I've been religiously sticking to my physical therapy and doing it. And in fact, going a little bit more. When they say do 3 sets, sometimes I do 4 sets, but I want my knee back to normal. I hope it can get that way. So. Yeah.
As a physical therapy, I'm thinking about this. I heard somebody once talk about their own knee issues and said, there was a sense that his brain had a relationship with the knee and the new knee and how it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
But then he said to me that there was something about the rest of his leg had to have a level set, relationship with this new hardware. And I don't actually know what the mechanics of that mean, but do you have a sense that as you're doing the physical therapy, the band work or the whatever, right? It's not the pounding as running, right? But is that what's happening when you're doing physical therapy? Like you're trying to get the whole leg to get to know the new knee?
Extension and retraction. So, because you want that knee to be obviously be able to bend it to 90 degrees or more. Yeah, and I would love to see this knee get, obviously my good knee, I can touch my heel to my butt, and but the other side, it may happen, but I'm getting close. But I think is that the
goal? Is that the goal so that on the new knee you can hit your butt too, or
that's my goal. But they said I've got to 135 degrees already. So what that means, he says that's excellent. So 135 degrees, I guess. So he says you're on your way. He says that's good. Sure. And I still got 4 more weeks. So we'll see. But now that I know swelling is going down, and I'm looking at my knee, and it's it's looks like it's better. So, not so puffy. And the scar looks better. I thought, man, this scar looks ugly, but it goes away somewhat.
Come on, man. I think it's sexy. I saw this camera. Oh, that's sexy. That's what you want right there. It's a level. It's like an indicator of some kind of crazy badassery. Like, what kind of scar is that? Holy cow. And I like that. I also think, what about this? I'm going to hit you with this.
Yeah.
It might actually be, like it or not, it might actually be wisdom. Wisdom like this, meaning this. If this happened 25 years ago, right, there's no way you would have walked those 4 miles last weekend. You'd have been pushing it. But now, thanks maybe to wisdom and the understanding of all the things coming together, and you're going to do this till you're taking that last dirt nap decades from now, right?
Till heaven takes me.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, hedging your bet. You better make sure. Yeah, let's be clear here. Let's be clear where I'm going. You're saying.
Yeah, I know.
That's good.
I'm a good
But
boy.
what do you think? Like, you're smarter now than you were before. There's some wisdom. You're like, let's. I'm listening to the doctors. I'm holding them accountable.
Yeah,
I'm willing to have myself be held accountable, right? And you're recovering the way you're supposed to. I think.
Yep. I'm not. I might be pushing it a little bit harder than I should, but that's just me.
I don't know. If the extent of that is one extra rep or one extra set, come on.
Well, whole extra set, and not just one time, but multiple times, and like I said, if the doctor knew that I probably hiked 4 miles, he probably said, maybe that's not a good idea. He don't know. But
my money says, to my pal, my money says the next time you talk to him, tell him exactly what you did do.
Yeah.
Don't hide what you did do, because then that data, I was like, oh, you did? Oh, well, how you feel now? Oh, well, what's it look like now? Oh, you know what I mean?
Well, you know what? I look at it that way, and then I could look at it. It goes, says, oh, you know what? Your knee is not cooperating right. And you did what, 4 miles? That's because of that. So I don't want to.
That's okay. You need to know that.
Excuse. I don't want him to make an excuse. Say, well, we got to go back in because you were doing too much on it.
Yeah, you said that before. There's nobody's going back in. The only reason they're going to go back in, the only reason they go back in now is because they left something and they fucking forgot. So I don't think
there's nothing. There's nothing to leave in there.
All the lawsuits I've ever been involved in with respect to medical issues, it's been something like that. Like, okay, no, you're not going back in. How about this? Like, listen, your knee's going good.
It seems to be.
Hips. We have friends in our circle, in our running circle, people we know in the groups, and they've got their hip replacement, and it's like, oh man, brand new. They got a lease on life forever. So I didn't know about hip replacements, and I studied up on them a year or so ago, and that's pretty good. And the fact that you're well on your way, knee replacement, good to go. The technology has changed so much that I bring it on. Of course you're going to go be running again. Of course you are. You'll feel like doing whatever. And I think the technology helps us so that at this age in your 70s, like, okay, so what? Let's go. We'll do what you want to do. If you need a new tool, need another replacement part, so what? We'll do it. But
well,
I think
all I got to say is, Mark, when I get running again, you and me are going to have it out. We're gonna run it together. I'm gonna make you run, or you're gonna make me run. One of the two. We're gonna keep each other motivated, because I would like to do a long run with you. So that's one of my initiatives, my bucket list. So.
I'm in, man. I'm in all the way. And, I was trying to take advantage just to serve myself as much as possible before you got the surgery. I was just trying to get you out there. And even with all the knee issues, you're still fast, unfortunately. For me, I thought I'd really take advantage and be able to smoke you out there somewhere. But no, even with the messed up knee, you still were fast. So now we don't want to rush anything. But when you're ready, we'll get out there and we'll have a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, back and forth, I hope.
I have knee issues myself over time, and at the time, many years ago, but I was also told from medical professionals, like, oh, you better watch this and be careful with this or that. And I guess I listened to them. I wasn't afraid about anything. You just say, oh, okay, made adjustments. But I will say in the last year or so, and maybe it's because of learning and understanding how you've run over all these years and the things you've done over all these years and how long it took you to finally say, yeah, okay, I'm going to pull a trigger. I'll replace the knee. You really pushed it, and, our bodies are pretty resilient. Yeah, and I think it might have been right after that I realized, because I'm certain of it. So I started working out in a way, deliberately, slowly, but I started working out in a way and really pressure test and strengthen my knees. And it's working. I mean, it's working. And not because I was going out to do some cavalier, stupid thing. I wasn't trying not to do stupid things, but I'm telling you, it works. So, I'm young. I'm a young guy. I'm only 62. I mean, you're an old dude. You're old. You're so old. Yeah. But I'm young.
Hey, so Mark, did you ever run marathons on pavement, or you always been trail?
I did. I ran two. I had a couple of issues. I had two strokes. I had one stroke. Had a stroke.
Oh, yes.
And 2015, and then but I had used to run in the military years before then, but my knees, I had arthroscopic surgery in both my knees. Okay. And at that time, it was like, well, be careful, maybe you shouldn't run. And I ran in the sand in Arizona on the arroyos, and that was fun. But in my head, I was supposed to be settle back. So for years and years, I didn't really run. I went to the gym, kind of like you. I worked out a lot, but that's it. No running. Okay. And then I have a stroke, and the doctor's like, oh, man, you got to start walking or something. And I'm like, walking? If I have to walk, I'll poke my eyes out with pencils. I can't walk. I used to run. Could I give that a try? And he's like, sure, go ahead, give it a try. But he was afraid that I might have a heart attack and all these things. So he's like, well, here's zone 2. Here's how you do it. And so anyway, I started training. And I got ready for the LA Marathon 2016. It was going to be great. My first road marathon. I trained in the streets of my neighborhood, and I'm ready to go. And then the day after my long run, it was like 20-mile long run before the February 14, 2016 marathon in LA. I had another stroke, twice as big on the other side of my brain. Like, what? And I had all this training. And so that was curious anomaly that you can't ignore, right? So I didn't ignore it, and I took care of it and tried to deal with it. Finally, though, I got to run, got the blessing from all the doctors. Yes, you can train again. Yes, you can go try a marathon. So I run my first marathon ever at the New York City Marathon in November of 2016, and it was amazing. So yes, Ray, I had to get the chance to run the street, but it spoiled me a little bit, I guess. I didn't know, because at that time, I didn't know anything about marathon culture or anything. So I run New York City, and I finish in the dark, and it's, but I stepped over the line and cry my eyes out. I didn't want any family member. I didn't want anybody around me just in case I stroked out. I mean, I didn't know really what was going to happen. So I survived. It was fine. It's fine. But in that moment, I thought, oh my God, if this is marathons, if this is how it is, like the way is in New York, I'm going to run every big city marathon there is, because they're all going to be like New York. And then I came to learn that it's a pretty unique experience. So I did ran a couple of LAs, ran a couple of New Yorks, and ran some street stuff. But I did feel like I noticed a difference between pavement and concrete. Right? Oh, yeah, right. Correct. Yeah. Pavement or asphalt is softer than concrete. It's weird. Your body knows it. You can, and it makes a big difference on your knees. I asked my friend, I said, is this me? Did I learn? Because in the moment I'm thinking, oh, look at me. I'm learning as a runner things. And I'm like, is there a difference? Because my knees, I feel it in the bones. When I run on concrete, I feel it in my bones, but I don't feel it in my bones when I'm running on asphalt. And the guy said, yeah, that's true. He said, but I got a question. He said, do you ever hear a trail running? And I'm like, what's that? He said, you go out in nature and go run to Griffith Park in the dirt. And I'm like, really? That's a thing? I didn't even know. I said, well, that sounds like it wouldn't hurt my bones, I bet, because it's just on the dirt, right? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay. So that's how I actually learned about trails. And so I was never fast on the street, though.
Yeah.
Like you had an objective.
Yeah, I
and
did.
You ran fast.
Well,
anytime anyone
that
can
part's
break
over.
at 3 hours.
That pavement is over, I think. So let's just stay on trails now.
You think? You think when you run though, when you train locally, like when you run around, you have to run in your neighborhood, right? Or are you running on trails somewhere?
Well, you know what? Yeah, most of it, when I go running, I'll go to trails somewhere where I can get some long runs in. But locally, there's right here in Long Beach, Signal Hill, there's just some steep hills. And it's not running hard. It's just running steadily up a hill, get that endurance that, and the legs obviously burning going up these steep hills, like hill repeats, I think, is actually good for trail racing, I think, But no, I don't want to run too much on the pavement. So I try to find where there's dirt. So.
Even when I run, I'm 3.5 miles to Griffith Park, which is where the closest trails.
Yeah.
And so even when I run on that 3.5, I can run from my house to the park. But even then, I'm trying to stick on the asphalt because it makes a difference. It just does. It makes a difference, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna try to stay out on the trails. And then, as you said, and this is, you said it really. It's not just time out there. It's not just time on feet. It's time on feet on the trails. If you're trying to be an ultra runner and you can't, I mean, if I was younger, for my 2022 New York City Marathon, which I ran, was during COVID, in the COVID universe time, 2020, 2021, I bought a treadmill, a good one.
Okay. Yeah.
And just for the hell of it, I trained every run, every day, or every run I trained on, for the 2022 New York, I only ran on a treadmill the whole time because I would just experiment. I wanted to see, how did it work? Okay. And it was great. It was fun. I love the race. That's the energy of the race that really makes a difference. But
wasn't it kind of boring?
No,
No.
I only had it. My treadmills have a screen, and they have it with Nordic Track. So I feel like, it has you follow the trainer or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And also,
right.
I also at the time I built up this TV in my office, and that I raised it up like 3 feet in the air so that I could be on the treadmill and watch a movie or whatever as I'm going and going.
All right.
So that made it easy. Is there? Are you? Do you? So you're going to stick on trails.
That's the plan.
You still call yourself an ultra runner, right? I mean, you run ultras, right?
That's correct. Yeah. In fact, my friends call me Ultra Ray. So I'm going to keep to that. So I'm going to keep running ultras. Yes.
Are you open to running another 100 or 100K, or are you open to anything?
Yeah, I'm open. We'll see how I feel. When I run, like I said, I ran a half marathon, and I thought, my God, I can't believe I ran 100 miles, and I'm feeling so tired on a half marathon. Like, how did I do these 100 miles? But it's all about training. So I'll work my way back up, and we'll see. I would love to, Javelina, believe it or not, because I ran out too fast, and I would like to attack that again, because Javelina is, like they say, it's not a hard one. It's the elevation, I think, was 850 feet every lap. I don't know.
Right, every 20 miles.
Yeah, but, I went out too fast, and then I didn't hydrate. I took a stinking water bottle instead of a hydration pack the second round, and I was out of water. So that was ignorance. So don't ever do that. So that was stupid on my part. But I would like to just if I just do it comfortably, don't try to not even try to beat myself up. Just I can do it. I don't see why not. just enjoy it, and I can finish it. Might not be a fast time that I want, but I'll finish it, So, yeah, I'd like to go back out there, I think. So, but I got to work my way back up.
Do the formats matter? We haven't talked really about that. You've run a bunch of different types, and we didn't really talk about Ironman at all, but each of those represents, street marathons, Ironman, ultras, hundreds, 50K, 50 milers. Each one of them is a little different, but they're still all races. So Javelina is an example of a loop course. So talk about formats for a second. Do you like loop courses just in general? Can you see yourself doing more loop races?
I did one with, it was a loop race, and it was kind of monotonous. It was a mile loop, go as far as you can for 24 hours. And I got to 60 miles, and that's it for me. I'm done with this 1 mile loop. It was like a roller coaster, just like going around and around and around. So, but 14-mile loops, that's big enough. I mean, I don't mind little loops like that, 14, 15, maybe even an 8-mile loops. But 1 mile loops, probably, I don't see that in my future.
Yeah, most of those, I think, are timed events, right? Yeah. So you sign up for 6 hours or 12 hours or 48 hours or 70, whatever, right? And a lot of people can accomplish their 100 miles by doing one of those, and
which is fine.
Yeah, that might get monotonous.
Yeah, it's monotonous for me. It was, but for people that want to, I know a few people that they couldn't do 100 miles on the mountains, but they did 100 miles on those loops. And I'm happy for them. It's because it's. You got an aid station every mile. You can stop and you can take it easy, go again and stop and go. And, more power to them, because after that, they might oh, you know what? I'll try one of these other ones, that might be a little bit more taxing or something, a little harder 100-miler. But 100 miles is 100 miles. I don't care how you look at it. It's still tough.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to say it. I think I rushed into just because Kira Henninger's races mean a lot to me, because those are the ones I'm familiar with. Wow. And I really appreciate the way she runs the races. So when I picked Leona, because I saw these guys coming in, I knew I was going to run Leona. And after making that commitment and other commitments to big mountain races, which I'm very excited about, I've really learned a lot more about formats. There's so many. You can pick, what's the point? What are you trying to do? Are you trying just to cover 100 miles? Here's some suggestions. Are you trying not to get bored? Here's some suggestions. Are you trying to go to aid station frequently? Here's some suggestions. Are you, there's so many different versions of what might make sense for people that, but
when
each
you're
person's
doing,
different.
Yeah, when you're doing those 100-milers, one thing also is don't stay too long at any aid station. That's the key also. You know what I mean? Just like when I did 100 miles, don't stay too long, because, some of them, the cutoffs can be tight. And some of them, you want to get through them before you get, taken off the course. So you want to keep moving. That's one of my suggestions. And also, when I did the 100-milers, everybody say, don't you sleep, or don't you, lay down for a while? I said, no, because I didn't have a stopwatch. I didn't have a clock or something. And I figured if I close my eyes, I'm not going to wake up again. And the next thing you know, I got 30 miles to go, and I got, hour to do it. And I haven't it. So I said, no sleeping for me. Just run it through. You know what I mean? 32 hours. Yeah. Keep it going.
Yeah.
So.
100 miles these days. Yeah. You don't sleep at 100, and you do have to have a sleep. You got to have a sleep strategy for a 200 or a 300 for sure. Yeah. But not for 100. No, I'm with you 100%. I know Ray's rules. Number one, don't get lost. Number two, don't spend too much time at an aid station. I'm with you. I've mapped it out so that I know what I got to do. I know what I got to do. It's not a mystery how quickly I got to get from one point to the next point with respect to each aid station. So got to make it happen.
But back then when I was doing hundreds, I thought, man, everybody's doing okay hundreds. But now 200s, 250s, 300s now. It just amazes me what people can do, accomplish. It's like, holy, I can't swallow. I can't fathom that. I couldn't fathom the 100-miler when I was way back when, thinking I've done 50 miles and like 100. I was like, oh man, that's impossible. But lo and behold,
yeah,
it's not.
I can't wait to get there. When I ran in the desert for the first time. The longest I ever run was 63 miles in the desert in November. But it was it was 100K in the desert, and I was too slow, so I got pulled off the course. But I asked the race director, "Here, please take my bib, and I'm out in the middle of the desert already, and I have my pacer. Can I just? I got to finish my age in miles." He's like, "Go for it."
That's awesome.
I know what it felt like and how fast I was moving or not fast I was moving, and what it looked like to cover 63 miles on the earth. I know now. I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But you did it.
I did it. Yeah, no, I did it. So that gave me all the push I needed to now in my head figure out, okay,
all right,
what am I doing next? What do I want to do next? And so
62, 38 more miles. You got it.
Nothing. I got it, man. Leona's in my sight. In my sight. I got it.
Yeah.
All right. And when's the last time you got on a bike? Do you still ride a bike at all or no?
Just my training. I'm actually getting on the training bike right here. So I'm doing that right now. So, and it feels good, but I want to get back on the bike too. So I don't know about any, you know what? Maybe just saying there might be still another Ironman for me. Half Ironman, not a full. It's too much training for a full. It's way too much, but a half, I still got my tri bike. I may break it up, it's breaking up from ultra running to a half Ironman, it ain't too bad, it's a half marathon, right? And then 56 miles on the bike and then a 1.2 mile swim. That's breaking it up. That ain't bad. We'll see.
Listen, you said it out loud now. Now that you said it out loud, it sounds so perfect. Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But
in time. And
you know what? When you're doing these ultras, you do need to break them up, right? You need to get on. I think a bike is a good, low impact thing for your knees and stuff, but you could still get a lot of endurance biking, pushing it, on a bike, whether it's just in the house and training or whatever, standing on your feet, pumping that, getting that heart going and swimming is excellent. Obviously, anybody tell you swimming is a hard thing for me. If I try to swim hard, I'm pounding. My heart's pounding worse than running. I think is, But I think I had mentioned to you, I've gotten climbing up hills. Hill repeats. I've done hill repeats to the point where I feel like this is it. They're taking me away because my heart's pounding on my chest and I can't breathe because I push it hard. I push it to the limit. So, maybe because I'm older, I might have to watch out because my heart ain't going to take it anymore.
Thank you for that. I did ask you about that in the past because I had this sense that I don't have a gauge of how hard is too hard. I don't know. But the way you described it, since that conversation some time ago, I have gone out and did my best to try to get there. Yeah. In other words, to feel the anaerobic benefits of what I'm doing, of getting up there. Yeah. And I recently included a treadmill incline training. I don't have a treadmill anymore. I sold it, but there's a gym close by, and I go there, and it makes a difference when you're trying to huff up there uphill and no messing around and trying to maintain a pace. Yeah, it was good. It was good, and it's necessary.
Awesome.
All right, listen, you've been doing this since you were 45. Now you're 70, and of course you did all kinds of stuff before. Yeah. What does running have a meaning for you? Like for all these years, like you're competitive. I get that, but is there a meaning to running? maybe even the why you run? Do you think about that?
Yeah, I told you I didn't like running in the beginning because I looked at people running and go, that's just boring as hell. But, and then I started running and I then, of course, got into trails. And, you look at these trails and like, oh, this is, I don't want to get into that, but, it's like, this is, God's land. It's beautiful. I've gotten out there and I think, it's like, it's spiritual. It's like, it's like a church for me. I'm Catholic, but I'm not a practicing Catholic. But when I go out there and it's on a Sunday, I look up and I go, you know what? This is my church. I don't, they say you should go to church, but to me, being out there and saying, thank God I'm here, I'm alive, I feel good. And, every time I run afterwards, I feel great, They talk about that way back when I remember when I did my first half. Not my first, second or whatever. You get that runner's high they talk to you about. I had that once that I really felt, wow, I felt like I was on some kind of drug or something. But, runner's high is happening all the time after you do a big giant race and you're feeling good. That's a runner's high. And when I just do the practicing out there and I doing these trails and, it's like, oh, it's hard. It's tough. And I always find these hills that I'm going to attack. And every time I go back, I like, oh, here it comes. It's a hard, it's one of those love-hate relationships. But I always know I have to climb that hill, run it. I have to run it. So I run it. I get to the top and like I said, I'm breathing like, this is it. They're taking me away. But and I make it through it and I feel so good. Then after it's all over and done, I feel good. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? After a good run, I feel happy. I feel good. So actually, when I'm not running, I think there's depression for a lot of people that can't run when they know that they used to run and you have to do something. And I feel good about myself when I run. So that's probably why. And that's just me. I mean, I can be by myself and run. I have no issue with that. But running with people is even more inspiring because you're running, you're talking, and you're like, oh, and you're learning more about, other people and what they've done to make themselves better. And you give each other some kind of like, okay, what race do we want to do together? So, because I'm not actually in a big group of runners, but, hopefully you get people that, inspire you to run with them. So anyway.
That sounds clean and good and smart. And I'm in. Yeah. I already said yes to that invite. So when you're ready to go, let's go. In fact, maybe we should figure out how to sign up for Javelina now. Do it a year ahead of time.
Well,
go.
You know what? It's closed out now.
Oh no, yeah,
the year after, next year. I'll do it next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Let's do it.
I like it.
Let's do it. Arizona. I learned to run in the arroyos in Arizona many years ago.
Yeah, there's a bit of sand in there. There's a bit of sand in there, and some saguaro cactuses and stuff. So yeah.
Exactly. All right. Well, we'll tune in. We'll tune in this weekend. Watch some of the live stream from the Arizona 300 that will last for a
is that
week or so.
happening?
That's starting tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh
Friday,
my gosh. Oh yeah, I'll be watching that. Yeah, for sure.
Watching a little of that.
And then,
all right, Ray. Well, this has been a great conversation. Any stories I forgot to ask you about that you want to tell? Because I can't remember anything left.
Yeah, I can't remember too. Until I. It's not dementia; it's just getting old. Well, there's always some kind of story that everybody's happened, like you said, getting lost here, getting there, doing this, or, there's always somewhere, I think everybody's gotten lost. So, I know you said you did, but, definitely you don't feel bad because everybody has gotten lost. I think everybody who's done any trail races or whatever, they gone the wrong way. They might have found their way back, but believe me, everybody somehow gets the wrong turn. So, but yeah, I've done that.
I think that's true. I look at the races that I've done because I'm just a newbie. There's not that many, so I feel I might be in some universe where I'm somehow checking the boxes and like, oh, the next. But really, I'm also learning like, no, just enjoy every one, take it one at a time. And if we should be so lucky as to look over my shoulder, 5 years from now, and I see more medals like you've got than this, that's fine. But stay in the moment for, one race at a time.
I always look back and all those medals that I've won or finished the races and the Ironmans and all that stuff. I'm thinking, I always say to myself, look at all that. If I didn't do any of that, I could have been having a, $120,000 Mercedes, driving around. But then I wouldn't have my health. You know what I mean? So I don't regret doing what I did. So I love what I do. So
me too. I think that's good. Yeah. No regrets. We got to live every day.
Not at all.
Enjoy the present because it's the present, right? Enjoy it all. All right, Ray, this is good. We'll check in with you after you're basically back out on the trail sometime.
We'll definitely do that, and we'll be running together.
When we hang up, I'm going to have to make a note. Like, let's figure out Javelina. Well, that would be a party.
All right. Don't forget that. We can do that. All right. Hey,
Ray, thank you very much, man. Good to talk to you today.
Pleasure being here.
Good. Take care, man.
Thank you.